Anybody you know up there? I know. Let's sing a morning song together. We're going to sing out of the Till Hymn Book, hymn number 1018, Come and Go With Me. I invite you to rise in body and or spirit. If you don't have a hymn book, the lyrics will be projected up on the screen.
Good morning. Welcome to the Olympia Unitarian Universalist congregation. We're so glad that you're with us today. My name is Ann Radford. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a member of the worship arts team. Leading worship with me today is Troy Fisher, our music director, and CB Beal up here online. CB is a Unitarian Universalist speaker, educator, and consultant, specializing in facilitating learning experiences that address issues of marginalization, oppression, and privilege. CB supports people to hold the complexities of our lives as we co-create a safer, braver space within which people can be challenged to learn and grow. Our community envisions an interconnected world that is loving, just, and healthy. We commit to live out our mission to welcome and wonder, embrace and empower, bridge and become. We are people of many genders, racial identities, many economic levels, many sexual identities, and in all the ways that we are different, united as one people. We are a faith community that believes diversity is sacred and that we are enriched by the gifts each of us brings. We affirm that we are all growing and becoming and that we learn from each other. Thank you for your presence today. Here are a few things to know about our service today to help you feel welcome. We are streaming live on Zoom and YouTube, and the service is being recorded. For those here in the sanctuary, you can see these subtitles on the screen in front, usually accurate. We are a multi-generational community that welcomes people of all ages in the sanctuary. Over here, we have soft chairs and activities and nursery care and story time program down in the classroom wing. Families, please be where you are most comfortable. And there are busy bags in a basket just outside the sanctuary doors for anyone 5 and older. If your hands need to be busy during the service, please help yourself. We're grateful for the many, many hands that helped make worship happen this morning. Thank you to all who contribute in so many ways. After the service, everyone will have a chance to discuss reflection questions offered by CB. For those online, we invite you to go into a breakout room for a virtual coffee chat. For those in person, after the service, please feel free to stay for coffee and conversation in the Commons. At 12:15 today, please join us here in the sanctuary or in the main Zoom room for a budget expo with the OUUC Board of Trustees and Reverend Mary. In preparation for the annual congregational meeting next Sunday, this is a deep dive into the proposed operational and capital budgets. If you like details, come join us on site or online. And then next Sunday, June 14th, we'll have the annual congregational meeting to review where we are, adopt a budget, and elect congregational leaders. It will be at 12:15 on site and on Zoom only, not on YouTube, with food available for those on site. While only members can vote, anyone interested may attend. Also, next Sunday, June 14th, is our annual Flower Communion service, when we celebrate the diversity of life and our community with flowers of the season. Please bring a cut flower of any kind to share, and you'll take a different one home. This coming Thursday will be our last community dinner before we take a break for the summer. Come join us to share food and community as we celebrate the year with the theme, It's a Wrap. Dinner, I know, it's kind of an Dinner is at 5:30, and celebration and other events are at 6:30. Hope to see you there. There are many things happening at OUUC. Check out our Tuesday electronic update or the website for the most important information. In our gathering this morning, we invite you to open your hearts and minds to the possibility of transformation. It is good to be together. This morning, we join Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition, with the words of Joseph Cherry this morning. As we gather together for worship this morning, being both near and far, we light our chalice, as we do each week. It is a symbol of our faith. May its light be a beacon of hope for the many, those who feel lost, those who feel threat, those who feel tired, those who are uncertain. May our beacon of hope help you find home, help you find safe, give you respite, and honor your searching mind and spirit.
Good morning. I'm CB Beal. My pronouns are they, them, and theirs. I'm a short, fat, ruddy-faced white person with short salt and pepper hair and a gray goatee, wearing a lavender button-down shirt. I'm seated in my home office in Massachusetts with bookshelves behind me. Our opening words this morning are by Jack Mendelson. Here in this sanctuary of ancient dreams and wisdom and beauty, may we come to grow, to be healed, to stretch mind and heart, to be challenged, renewed, to be helped in our own continuing struggles for meaning and for love, to help build a world with more justice and mercy in it, to be counted among the hopers and the doers. In the face of cynicism, evil, brutality around us and within, we seek to align ourselves with a living community that would affirm rather than despair, that would think and act rather than simply adjust and succumb. Here, we invite the spirit of our own humanity and the healing powers around, under, through, and beyond it to give us the nerve and grace, the toughness and sensitivity to search out the truth that frees and the life that makes all things new. Come, let us worship together.
Let's sing together again, this time out of the Gray Hymn Book, hymn number 360. Here we have gathered. I invite you to rise in body and our spirit, and let's sing. Thank you for singing.
The story today is called The Rabbit Listened by Corey Dorfeld. One day, Taylor decided to build something new, something special, something amazing. Taylor was so proud, but then, out of nowhere, things came crashing down. The chicken was the first to notice. What a shame! What a shame! I'm so sorry. Sorry this happened. Let's talk about it. But Taylor did not feel like talking, so the chicken left. Next came the bear. How horrible. I bet you feel so angry. Let's shout about it. But Taylor didn't feel like shouting at all. So the bear left. The elephant knew just what to do. I can fix this. We just need to remember exactly the way things were before. But Taylor didn't feel like remembering. One by one they came. The hyena, let's laugh about it. The ostrich. Let's just hide and pretend nothing happened. The kangaroo. Oh, what a mess, what a mess, what a mess. Let's just throw it all away. And the snake. Let's go knock down someone else's. But Taylor didn't feel like doing anything with anybody. So eventually they all left until Taylor was alone. In the quiet, Taylor didn't even notice the rabbit, but it moved closer and closer until Taylor could feel its warm body. Together they sat in silence until Taylor said, "Please stay with me." The rabbit listened. The rabbit listened as Taylor talked. The rabbit listened as Taylor shouted. The rabbit listened as Taylor remembered and laughed. The rabbit listened to Taylor's plans to hide, to throw everything away, to ruin things for someone else. Through it all, the rabbit never left. And when the time was right, the rabbit listened to Taylor's plans to build again. "I can't wait," said Taylor. "It's going to be amazing." Thank you for listening to my story today.
Each Sunday, we engage in the spiritual practices of generosity and gratitude by joining together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. This is an opportunity to express our gratitude for the gifts life has given us, for the network of relationships in which we live, and for the presence of this community. We each have the power to share, and when we combine our gifts to create an offering together, we are able to do more than any of us can do alone. If you are new or visiting us for the first or second time, you are our guest and we don't expect you to contribute. However, if you are moved to be part of our offering, what you share will be accepted with gratitude. The offering collected here does two things. Half helps support the ongoing work of this congregation, which is also supported by your regular pledges. The other half of our offering goes to charity. Most is shared with an organization that serves our community in harmony with our Unitarian Universalist values. And a small portion goes to the OUUC Ministers Benevolence Fund to support the more urgent needs of our community. Our Share the Plate organization for this month is Enterprise for Equity, and this is what they share about their work.
Hello, UUC friends. Thank you so much for selecting us to be the recipient of your Share the Plate monthly offerings. For 25 years, Enterprise for Equity has supported people, especially those with low incomes and barriers, to start and grow businesses so they can generate an income through self-employment. We do this through training, mentoring, and microloans, and with support like yours, we're able to offer this at no cost. We often do this work in partnership with local tribes, other nonprofits like Michiantla, Grub, and ASHO, the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation, so we reach people across the region. We do this because business ownership is a critical pathway into the workforce for many people. For those who need flexibility, who don't have access to traditional employment, those who live with disabilities, or just have something really unique to offer. A few years ago, Bob came to us after battling addiction, lacking confidence, and with a fragile hold on an idea to make an income through his own business. He had worked as an auto mechanic, but struggled to keep a job due to his PTSD. Through our programs, he gained tools, support, and a community that believed in him. Within 6 months, he launched his mobile auto mechanic business, and today his business and life are stable and thriving. And Bob's story isn't unique. 70% of our business planning program graduates are still in business 5 years later. This is well above the national average. And you've likely seen these businesses at our local farmers markets, arts walk, storefronts, and across the community. What starts as a fragile dream can become something much more. Many business owners go on to become employers, buy homes, build credit, and give back, while running businesses that care about people, planet, and prosperity. And that's what your support makes possible. It allows us to offer this work at no cost and to walk alongside people like Bob as they build something real and lasting. So truly, thank you.
We offer our thanks to all who give, including those who give to the offering electronically. You can find out about that in the order of service or on the OUUC website. May the offering now be generously given as it is gratefully received. Thank you for your generosity in all the ways that you share your gifts. This morning, we do what humans have done for all of our existence. We gather in times of worry and fear, and in times of celebration and joy. We come into our community bringing all that is in our minds and in our hearts. Let's open our hearts to the complexity of life as we place stones in the water of community. You will hear a drum beat. Allow its resonance into your body. It is the heartbeat of life, the heartbeat of community. Right now, I invite you to take a deep breath. Feel the air in your body. Feel the earth beneath us. Feel the warmth of connection. Don Melnick shares that he will have a long-awaited hip replacement surgery on Tuesday. He will be at the Panorama CNR for a bit of recovery after the surgery before going home. He offers his profound thanks to everyone for the love and concern he's received this past year as he mourns his beloved Rosalie. and faces health challenges. Dawn, we send out our love and care for successful surgery and speedy recovery. Taylor Hutchinson asks for good vibes for her elderly friend, Berta Lay, who is having an especially hard time right now. Taylor, we welcome you back to OUUC and send our love and care to you and your friend, Berta. I invite you to come forward now if there is something that you would like to bring into this community. Take a stone from the basket and place it in the water as you hold your sharing in your heart. For those on Zoom, I invite you to share from your heart by entering in the chat. Those in the sanctuary can see your sharing on the screen, and it's also shared with Reverend Mary and the pastoral care team. Let us hear the heartbeat of our community and reach out our hearts in love and care to all who share. We'll place a stone in the water for all that has been shared online and shared from the heart. We'll place another stone in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken. We hold together this morning all that has been shared. May you feel yourself loved. May you feel yourself witnessed. May you know that you are loved. This morning's meditation is adapted from Alice Anasheka Naisman's Meditation on Hope and Love in a Time of Struggle. In a world so filled with brokenness and sorrow, it would be easy to lose ourselves in never-ending grief, to be choked out by our outrage, to be paralyzed by the enormity of suffering, to feel our hearts squeezed tight with hopelessness. Instead, right now, let us simply breathe together as we hold our hearts open, breathing in as our hearts fill with compassion, breathing out as we pray for healing in our world and in our lives. Breathing in, opening ourselves to the transforming power of love. Breathing out as we pray for peace in our world and in our lives. Breathing in as we hold hope in our hearts. Breathing out as we pray for justice in our world and in our lives. May we know our strength. May we be filled with courage. May our love flow from us into this world. Breathing in, we are the prayer. Breathing out, we are the healing. Breathing in, we are the love. Breathing out, we are the peace. Breathing in, we are the hope. Breathing out, we are the justice. May we know our strength. May we be filled with courage. May our love flow from us into this world. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so. Let us hold a moment of silence together.
I invite you to remain seated and let's sing together hymn number 1060 as we sing of hope and joy. As we sing of hope and joy today, some know only anguish and despair. How can we lift our voices in this way, while some have pain and misery to spare? If a grumbling world we would renew, we must sing no ordinary song. Peals from a noisy gong will never do. In every breath, compassion must belong. Let our song our greatest hopes contain. Laughter of a well-fed child, its tune moves over every heart.
Today's reading is by Paloma Cayo, who was 16 when she wrote these words taken from her homily, "A Whole, Healing, and Broken People," written for youth and young adults at the UU Summer Seminary. May we attend closely to these words. The truth is that we have been bequeathed a devastated world. How do I inherit this broken world with grace? There's so much resistance, so much pain to bear witness to. But we are tired and we are ready for a change. The effects of this resistance and avoidance of bearing witness can be seen clearly in our own congregations. Soul is being drained. Oppressed identities are still living unseen. Stories are going untold, and pain is being met with a solution rather than an empathetic listening ear. What we are trying to do as we inherit this broken world is to rebuild a sanctuary, a place where there's a space to sit in discomfort, to accept your pain, to acknowledge mistakes made and the lives lost because of them. Because only when we come to bear witness to the cracks and the shattered pieces can we begin to help heal what has broken. We are a whole, healing, and broken people. Our duty is to lift up voices and listen deeply to stories, both joyful and painful. We are a whole, healing, and broken faith. Our call is to celebrate, empower, and affirm the sacred. And we are a whole, healing, and broken world. So let us bear witness to this difficult truth. Let's take a moment of silence.
As you return, would you take a breath with me? Is it ethical to steal bread to feed your starving family? This has long been a common ethics problem offered for us to ponder. We're asked about bread for a starving family or medicine for a sick child. When I was in 6th grade, the teacher told us a very complicated story about a lifeboat in the ocean that would sink because there were more people in it than it could hold. The solution, we were told, was that we were to decide who to throw overboard. The exercise, which came with a mimeographed worksheet, then described the people in their boat and their professions or their conditions, their life conditions. Someone was a doctor, another was a sanitation worker, one was clergy, another was pregnant, someone else was elderly, another was a farmer. They always had a life condition or a profession, never both. From our seats in our 1970s 6th grade extension classroom, high in the mountains, we were supposed to decide who we would throw overboard in the ocean. This was supposed to be practice, right? To make an ethical decision from hypothetical rather than real circumstances. 7 years later, on the first day of my Philosophy 101 class in college, the professor said, "Imagine there's a chainsaw murderer in a huge room." I may have rolled my eyes at that moment. "This chainsaw murderer is imminently and for sure going to kill a lot of people. You are up in the balcony, safe and out of reach. The chainsaw murderer is standing below you, directly under a chandelier. You see this coming, right? You do. Yeah. The only way you could stop the mayhem is that you could cut the cord on the chandelier that was holding it up, and it would drop on this guy's head. Would you end someone's life, he said, to stop them from killing others? Now, like the overcrowded lifeboat, protecting a group such as all of you from a chainsaw massacrer guy with a chandelier is not an ethical dilemma I'm likely to face in real life. In fact, all three of these thought experiment questions, bread, lifeboat, chandeliers, they're intended to help us practice ethical thinking, but they are ethical questions detached from most of our lived reality. These questions are so often asked, not of those who are the vulnerable people in this scenario, but of the people who have the most privilege. The people who might assume they already know what they need to know to answer the question. In our story today, they might have been the chicken, hyena, ostrich, not the rabbit. We who have the most privilege are often those who both frame the questions and provide the answer, when what we should be asking is, whose perspective is missing? Who is this really about? Am I the one to answer this question? Is it ethical to steal bread to feed your starving family, to push someone off a lifeboat, or drop a chandelier on someone's head? To answer these questions, to radically tell and witness some truth, as Caio asks us, we must decide first if we actually have enough information. Starting with, what do we mean by we in this equation? Do we mean people like us, or do we mean everyone? And once we've started thinking about this, we must ask, do I know enough about the real world impact of imminent physical threat or starvation to be able to answer this question? Do I have the knowledge and experience to answer questions about bread, boats, and chandeliers in any sort of useful way whatsoever? I mean, now, you all have met me a few times now, and you know that I'm very capable of braying my opinions out. I mean, honestly, when I've been asked for an opinion, I don't think I've ever not had one. But having an opinion doesn't make me the right person to decide. It's especially true when I bear privilege relative to a situation and must imagine the marginalization, oppression, or harm involved. How can I answer an ethical question with only an imagined understanding of harm or benefit? Or how can I answer a question like that from my prideful accumulated wisdom and its alter ego, the lies I was taught about the world that I didn't get around to unlearning yet? Well, I can't. We can't. Would the good Mr. Fisher help us recenter ourselves? Is it ethical to steal bread to feed your starving family? Not only am I not in a position to answer this alone, it's the wrong question. Why don't these thought experiments ever ask, is it ethical to hoard bread when other families are starving? If the systems that confer privilege, economic, racial, or otherwise, always frame the questions, well, the system is going to guarantee that we keep asking and answering the same. The wrong questions will always lead to the wrong answers. Then those same systems of power will guarantee that those available answers are limited. Although a few of us may have lived with food insecurity during our lives, the most common experience among US American Unitarian Universalists is not of starvation. Nor have we universally been trapped on a lifeboat or in a room with a chainsaw massacrer. These huge systems of power around us work kind of like world-sized social media algorithms. If you use social media, you know that the platforms manipulate what we see, what we watch, what we read. I can go weeks without ever seeing the posts about climate change, COVID, or the complex injuries of white supremacy culture that my friend Jeremiah puts up. The algorithm, however, will show me Jeremiah's posts about bullfrogs. Yeah, but not those about the disaster of defunding FEMA or the CDC. Often, the only way I can learn from Jeremiah is to go to his actual page and scroll down it. I have to seek out the information outside of the literal frame on my computer or on the handheld device. I have to go elsewhere on the platform to seek the information that I need, or imagine this, in books, videos, personal conversations, and in live community activity. Without an intentional action and decision to leave what I already think and challenge what the system wants me to know, I will not learn any new information. I won't learn from people's lived experience. Whether I am scrolling or watching the news on media outlets that are owned by the same handful of people, I mostly receive what systems of power most want transmitted. So, I am likely to believe what I already think, what I have been taught. And unless I am vigilant, I am more likely to be influenced not by forces for justice and liberation, but by forces for power and control. If we believe that we're asking the right questions and that our perspective is the one best suited to figure something out, we're going to arrive at the solution just like the animals in this morning's story. We will each offer our version of a solution that is based on our habits and experiences, not Taylor's. In US America today, systems of power are working very hard, over time even, to destroy democracy, like destroy it, undermine science, remove all social supports, and limit individual freedom of choice in any number of ways. Now, the fire hose of political and economic assaults can make it really hard to track. So we might generically say Christian nationalists or the billionaire libertarians when we need to point to the origins of this attack on liberty. But the how is it done feels tricky. It is trackable, though. The systems of power that funded anti-climate change activism and legislation, they were the billionaires and the businesses that benefit most from pollution-causing industry. For simplicity today, let's just reference the Koch brothers. Koch spent millions of dollars over decades to promote business, oil, and a free market that was unencumbered by pesky details like clean water, air, or employee health and safety. They want us to focus on recycling our individual soda bottles while we ignore megatons of contaminants belching from their factories and trucks. When the COVID pandemic began, the fossil fuel industry took a huge hit, and billionaires like Koch began intentional efforts to get people back on the road, back to work, and back to school. They fought mask and vaccine mandates. They fought contact tracing and lockdowns, even minimal lockdowns. Koch funded the Great Barrington Declaration that, if you remember, they said we need to basically force herd immunity, hide the disabled and the grandparents, infect the kids, and it'll be all good. No. The Koch-funded Moms for Liberty began, it feels like they've been around forever, doesn't it? But they began as a group opposed to masking and vaccines. It was later that they turned their attention to opposing accurate education about DEI, race, racism, ethnicity, GLBTQIA plus people, promoting book bans and spewing anti-trans rhetoric. Koch funded them. Koch funds the Heritage Foundation, author of Project 2025, and we know where that's gotten us. The same forces that Koch represents oppose bodily autonomy, the freedom of LGBTQ people, and reproductive rights. These same forces do not care about the human impact of climate disaster or ongoing spread of COVID. They oppose diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. They fired the most qualified Black and Brown governmental and military leadership, banned books, arrested thousands of legal immigrants who are working the process they've been asked to work, and now undermining fair and free elections by gerrymandering white majority voting districts. These same forces are behind the removal of Unitarian Universalism and 180 other religious groups from the Defense Department list of recognized faith. The truth is, trackable though that is, most of us likely find ourselves with different reactions to each of those examples that I mentioned. Climate, trans folks, DEI, and the mass firing of Black and Brown leadership, immigration, COVID, reproductive rights, removal of Unitarian Universalism from a recognized list. You all here today likely had thoughts about how vital each of those examples were. Some were more impactful than others, you thought, perhaps. Or maybe some of you thought some are more true. And that's normal, right? Humans are assessing creatures. We assess things. It's normal. And we have to check ourselves. How are our assessments, our thoughts, because of evidence or because of habit? And how can we tell the difference? When I talk with people about this broad dismantling of every system that has been in place to support health and wholeness, someone invariably says, well, sure, most of those are really problem, but not COVID. I mean, that's different. It's over. I mean, they were wrong and they lied to us 6 years ago, sure, but it's really not a big deal now. The question I have to bring back is, what would it mean if these powerful forces that lied and continue to lie to us all about immigrants, that lied and continue to lie to us about trans people, Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, that lied and continue to lie about climate change and vaccines, what would it mean if they also lied to us about the ongoing human injury and disease caused by COVID? There's over 400,000 research papers and articles that prove it's still a big deal, a very big deal. What if community care is the concrete ethical change that justice requires in this time? Community care is guided by parts of the community I may not be from, parts of the community that are most impacted by something. And community care invites me to respond differently, to be rabbit and listen, and then to change. And change, my friends, is really hard. It's not pretend hard. Change is actually hard. Would you breathe while we have some music? Thank you for that opportunity to breathe, Troy. The questions that we must ask are really not questions about whether other people can steal a loaf of bread if their kid's starving. Our questions must be questions that center our ethics in community care. Is it ethical to hoard food while people are starving? Is it ethical for hospitals to not require staff wear N95 respirator quality masks, the only quality mask that actually prevents airborne virus spread? Is it ethical to destroy an ecosystem to build a mall, a house, a hospital? Is it ethical that retirement accounts draw deeply from the oil industry or for-profit prisons and so-called detention centers? Now, asking a question about ethics does not guarantee there's an ethical solution. There's only the questions we ask, whose needs and experiences we center, and the best choices we can make to minimize harm. The core of all of it is, what does it mean that the same forces that want us to make all of these decisions, all of them, bread, boats, chandeliers, climate, COVID, as individuals, the same forces want us to make all of these decisions as individuals. If we make them as hyena, ostrich, kangaroo, snake, chicken, we will do what we've always done. The so-called news, popular talking points and thought-terminating cliches that are pushed at us constantly are designed for misinformation. They're pushed at us by both humans that just repeat them and bots. And it's all framed as about individual freedom. Toxic individualism that means we are led to believe that someone has to be thrown off the boat and that we can safely believe it won't be us. As long as we can believe those two things, we can believe that throwing people off boats is a perfectly logical, rational decision. Within the frame that's offered, it might be, but the frame is full of lies. The choice before us is to seek out sources of information that have knowledge and experience that we don't. And it means that we don't prioritize our personal desires or comfort as our highest priority. In fact, we deprioritize our desires and comfort. We don't roar like a bear. We listen like the rabbit. And we do it together. We collectively explore not what we individually think and want, but what might be best for all. I don't have the answer. I, in my own particular focused individualism, am just as initially limited by what I think as we all are. But this I know. Our Unitarian Universalism affirms that no matter where we are on an experience of being whole, healing, and broken, however much we have failed to stop this current horror, we are worthy. This is a theological statement that is not limited to our experience of being whole, broken, and healing as individuals. It includes our experience as a community, a culture, a congregation, a world. We are worthy and worth making changes. Individualism will not heal the climate disaster that we have left to our children. Those of us doing what we always did, whether it be hollering at people how to fix their life or tidying it up for them or pretending nothing's happening, it's not real, none of that is the solution. To choose wholeness means that we collectively must do things like support the reality that trans and non-binary kids are not political pawns, but kids who need health care. Our wholeness might mean that congregations should have the most energy efficient heating and cooling systems possible that simultaneously offer the cleanest indoor air in the county. Wouldn't that be cool? We are collectively responsible to our families, our community, the world, and to the future. We will one day be the ancestors. And I must trust that my gathered community, that we will choose to be ancestors who offered one another community care rather than the individualism, denial, and control that systems of oppression thrive on. I choose to trust that with love at the center of our community care, we here can change what we leave to the next. Will you join me in this commitment? I would like to hear you, and I would also like to see you nod your heads vigorously because I can only see the back of your heads. Oh, excellent. Thank you for turning around. Amen. Blessed be. And may it be so because we make it so.
I invite you to rise again and let's sing a closing song, hymn number 1064, Blue Boat Home.
Go now into the rest of your day, taking with you a commitment to let go of old habits and beliefs, to center those most impacted as we together make our way by the lights of the heavens. May you go with joy, go with commitment, go with love.